A simple question, but the answer can be complicated. Jesus is a great inspiration to many. His life was fascinating, his message radical. His birth 2,000 years ago changed the world forever, and 2.3 billion people believe Jesus is still alive. He is a reoccurring theme throughout all of history and still turns lives upside down today. Do you want to discover more about this intriguing person? Let's keep going. 1. Where to start? Jesus is arguably the most divisive, yet significant individual in all history. He's the most recurring figure in art over the past 2,000 years. Hundreds of thousands of books have been written about him. Wars have been fought, laws changed, even our calendar is based around him. This is just scratching the surface. Controversially, Jesus is the most influential person that ever lived. But how do we learn more about him if he lived so long ago? Well, the Bible actually tells us a lot about Jesus. Who he is and what he did. You might think that using the Bible is not a good enough source because it is considered a holy book to Christians. But in fact, scientists, historians, scholars, and literary experts all agree that the Bible is incredibly unique and an important piece of history and literature. Whether or not they agree with everything in it, they would not discredit its value. Jesus is the central figure in Christianity. The Christian faith revolves entirely around him. Christians believe that Jesus is the Messiah. He came to bring God and mankind back together. Christians believe that although history records Jesus died, he actually rose from the dead and is alive. They believe he lives in heaven with God, his Father. Although he has returned to heaven, his mission continued. His friends, also called his disciples, went out into the world to tell everyone about his miraculous resurrection that proved he is the Messiah. Most of the disciples were murdered in gruesome ways. Many people opposed their message, particularly political powers, kings, magistrates, and rulers tried to stop the spread of the Christian faith, but all failed. It seems the persecution actually advanced the cause instead of stopping it as they intended. Because of the persistent dedication of Jesus' followers, there are churches were founded all over the world. Christianity is by far the largest religion in the world, and also the fastest growing. Research by International Bulletin of Missionary Research, IBMR, shows that 1,000 people walk away from their faith every day, but in contrast, 83,000 Christians join every day. This amounts to 20 million new Christians each year. In the Western world, the churches may seem to be getting smaller, but the global church is growing rapidly. So who is this man? Let's take a look at the life of Jesus by going back in time for a moment. What happened 2,000 years ago? Jesus is born in Bethlehem, Israel. His father Joseph is a carpenter and his mother Mary a young girl from Nazareth. Even before they are married, Mary receives a special message. An angel appears to her and tells her that she will be pregnant with a son. He will be called the Son of God and his name will be Jesus. It is not Joseph, but God himself who will cause her to conceive. The birth of Jesus is still celebrated extensively every year at Christmas. So Jesus grows up and is like any typical child, except that we know Jesus never sinned. It is interesting to imagine what it must have been like growing as Jesus did. He experienced all the normal childhood things, yet he was very different from any other child. At what point did Jesus understand just how unique he really was? We don't know. Not much is told to us about Jesus' childhood. Disciples. It is not until around the age of 30 that we hear more about Jesus again. He gathers a group of friends around him. They are also called followers or disciples. Jesus talks a lot with them about repentance, justice, humility, equality, and forgiveness. Together they travel through Israel. He attracts